Diane is at a party, and as she's telling her friends a story, she's just glowing. She's truly an angel. She's so beautiful yet so strong. She's so excited as she exclaims. She punched those 2 thugs who tried to rob me on my way to a bookstore. Like this, Flyan chimes in. Easy, Diane. Don't get too excited. But Lechapi is already snatching her drink away. Enough, Flyan is right. Besides, this is the 5th time you've told us about that, Diane retorts. TCH. Give me back my drink, Lechapi. He sighs, knowing she saved him from those thugs. But he wonders how she even ran into them in the first place. How did she get there? Diane thinks back. Well, about that. Flashback time. A few days ago, Diane's carriage arrives in town, and the driver announces, "We're here, milady." Diane tells him, "Come back in an hour. I will be waiting around this place." She steps out, ready to hit the bookstore. "Hopefully, I can find something here." Opening the door, she's greeted by the shop owner. "Welcome back, Miss Diane. It's a nice day, isn't it?" Diane smiles back. "Yes, it is, sir." "Am I the only customer today?" he replies. "You're right, Mississippi. That's why I feel honored by your visit today." Diane thinks to herself. He must have been bored all day. The owner explains. "As you know, everyone in this town has been mourning the Queen's death. They only study the holy book all day, and don't read any other books. That's why I rarely have visitors." Diane understands. "I see. Does that mean there's no new book released?" But the owner reassures her. "Don't worry, miss. Of course there is." Diane's relieved. "That's a relief," he asks. "What kind of book are you looking for, miss?" Diane replies. "Well, I haven't decided yet. I need something for a birthday gift." The owner leads her. "This way, please. There are lots of new releases in this section." He presents a book. "This one is by your favorite author, Hilarat, his new release after 4 years of disappearance." Diane's so excited. "Whoa!" She covers her mouth and coughs, then politely says, "Thank you, sir." She recalls. "Last year around this month, I did hear the news about him preparing a new horror story, but the sudden announcement of the Queen's death made me forget about following up the news." Diane reads. Hilarat's best known for his strong sentences. His first line always catches my attention, she decides. Let me just skim the book quickly, and then... Wow! She's shocked. How is it possible for a man to write something like this? Diane decides. Well, this is enough for me. Now let's look for a gift. But as she browses, nothing seems interesting here. Same here. Also here, she laments. They only sell popular books here. I can't just buy ordinary stuff for him. Diane sighs. If only things had gone as planned, I wouldn't be so desperate to look for a replacement. A few days ago, Flyan asked, Diane, have you prepared Lechapi's present? Diane is surprised as her servant brings her a letter. Yes. It is due to arrive on. She accepts the letter. Oh, thank you. But then... Wait. What? Flyan asks. What's wrong? Diane cries out. No. The ship that was carrying the present got shipwrecked. If that ship didn't sink, I wouldn't have had to search for a new present so urgently. The shop owner asks. Did you find the book you're looking for, miss? Diane's startled. Since when was he standing behind me? The owner tells her. This bookstore mostly sells popular books. If you're looking for a rare book, I know one particular store you might like. Diane asks. Really? He confirms. Yes, miss, it's Baron Saldo's bookstore. They handle old rare books with care. I think it could be a great gift for your friend. Diane decides. It sounds like a good place to visit, the owner offers. I'll draw a map for you. Diane's grateful. Thank you, sir. It means a lot to me, the owner says. I'll just take this, then. All right, miss, wait a moment. Let me wrap this for you. She looked out from the window. The town is slowly regaining its vitality after the morning. The shop owner hands her the items. Here, the book and the map, Mississippi. Diane replies. Thanks. Bless you, sir. Diane consults the map. Turns out it's further than I thought. And this place is so dirty. Following the map, she spots it. Whoa, I think that's the bookstore. Finally, as she walks, a stranger stops her. Hello, miss. Why are you in such a rush? Diane thinks. TCH. Why do I have to meet a lowlife here? I should escape this place as soon as possible, she then said. Step aside, please. The guy blocks her path. Whoa, easy, Mississippi, don't be afraid. We won't harm you. Diane thinks. That's weird. Everyone's so scared when my sister does this expression. Why doesn't it work when I do it? She wonders. What do I do now? Damn. How should I escape these guys? Moreover, there's no one here. If I look scared, they will do more terrible things to me, the stranger says. We're just commoners who get by from the mercy of people like you, Mississippi. We're just trying to survive day by day, looking for something to stuff our mouth with. However, God seems good to us. He sends you to us. You know what I mean, right? Diane steels herself. Okay, then I'll try my hardest to seem strong, she declares. I won't repeat my words. You know the consequences for threatening a noblewoman, right? The thugs are taken aback. Threatening? One pleads. We just asked for your mercy, Mississippi, the other sinisterly says. I know you will have mercy on us, or else. We know well about the things that a noblewoman fears of. Diane panics. Damn! What should I do? She wishes. I should have brought a sword with me. She's really struggling now. Ugh! Is there anything I can do? What do I do? I can't think of anything. Now I'll be sold as a slave. But suddenly, BM. The guys get slapped with a book. Then, another figure appears. Miss, are you okay? Diane is stunned. Angel, she thinks. An angel came to save me. Back to present, Diane and her friends are chatting at the lavish banquet. So, you were looking for a book to read, then the owner recommended you go to her antique bookshop? Lechapi asks. Yes, Diane replies. Diane is practically bursting with excitement, but she can't tell Lechapi that she was actually looking for his birthday present. I was really lucky. I was so shocked, and she took care of me all day. Lechapi watches Diane, clearly smitten. Diane, you realize we're in the middle of a party now, don't you? Be careful, you may hit someone passing by. Diane, still giddy, apologizes. Sorry, I'm just too excited. Lechapi sighs dreamily, resting his head on the couch. Geez, she said, but I swear. She's so beautiful and kind, such a real-life angel. She helps many people as well, he asked. Huh? Many people? Diane explains that people are always thanking her at the bookshop. I'm not really sure what she's been doing, but people never seem to stop coming to the bookshop to thank her. Diane's face lights up. She must be famous for her kindness. Lechapi looks thoughtful. Now, that's interesting. You didn't mention that before. Who is this girl anyway? If she was that famous, we would have known her. Flyan raises a point. Lechapi is right. The person who suggested her bookshop to you was the owner of the first bookshop, right? It's not so easy to introduce your customer to a competitor, isn't it? Diane seems to agree. Flyan's got a point. Then she said that she knew Chrisya was a really good person from the moment she saw her. She even read Hilarot for me, just to calm me down after such a traumatic incident. Diane gushes. Flyan is intrigued. Isn't that a horror story? Wow, she is interesting. I definitely won't do that even if you asked me to. Lechapi is getting a strange vibe. This is getting stranger by the minute. Diane insists they keep Chrisya a secret. Wait. You both have to promise me to keep this a secret from my family, okay? Lechapi is getting annoyed. And that's also the 5th time you've made the same request. She said, I'm just making sure. Lechapi. Flyan wonders if Chrisya is at the party. Since you said she's an aristocrat, could she be somewhere in this party right now? It'll be fun if we can be friends with her as well. But Diane says sadly. Sadly, no. She didn't come. She continues, even though this is the first banquet since the death of our beloved queen, she preferred staying at the bookshop to works. Diane is disappointed. I really wish she were here now, Lechapi points out. If you wanted to see her so badly, you could have helped her, or maybe forced her, to attend the ball. It's not like you don't have any money. Flyan thinks to herself, I sure think she'll take your dirty money like that. It seems like if she doesn't open the bookstore for even just a day, the sales will drop significantly, Diane said. Lechapi retorts. Then just buy her time with money. That's a day's worth of sales from the bookshop. Your pocket money should be more than enough, right? But Diane is embarrassed. Geez. That's rude. She would think I'm just a kid who loves to solve everything with money. Flyan tells them to stop being childish. By the way, I haven't seen your dad, Lechapi. It's unusual for him to skip a banquet party like this. Diane looks around the room. It shouldn't be that hard to spot him, since he's usually surrounded by women. Diane spots him. Whoa! He looks gorgeous as always. A man with brown hair in a black suit decorated with silver embroidery. It's Count Lyad, Lechapi's father. No wonder women are lining up just to shake hands with him after knowing he lost his wife. As Count Lyad stands on the staircase, two women approach him. Pardon us, Count Lyad. Can we have a dance with you? Count Lyad politely declines. Oh, forgive me, ladies, I'm afraid I can't. The crowd gasps. Diane is shocked. Oh my, he rejected them. What is happening? Flyan and Diane stares at Lechapi. He said, I'm not sure what's happened, but it seems like he's ready to get married again. Diane can only think one thing. Remarry? Everyone is gossiping. This is going to be a hot gossip. The scene shifts to the antique bookshop. Diane is sitting with Chrisya, lost in thought. Are you listening to me? Chrisya asks. Diane snaps back. Sorry, Chrisya asks. Do you like fruit tea? Diane replies enthusiastically. Yes, of course. But in her thoughts, Diane is surprised by the news of Count Lyad's remarriage. Of course, I was surprised at the news of Count Lyad's remarriage, but to think of something else when my angel is in front of me, I don't even have enough time to look at my dear angel. I really want to be like her. Chrisya smiles warmly. Thank God I just got a good tea. Diane admires Chrisya. She's strong, independent, but still so beautiful as a lady. Chrisya offers her a raspberry tea. It's raspberry tea. It may be a bit sour. Do you want to add more sugar? But Diane declines. Thanks, don't worry, I'm used to having fruit tea, Diane said. Let me try this then. Chrisya giggles as Diane sips the tea. Careful, it's still hot. Chrisya warns. Diane hopes for a miracle. Actually, last night, I was hoping a miracle would happen and you would appear at the party. But Chrisya explains. Well, I've told you. There's a lot of work to do. My father has been running this bookshop for quite some time to help the unfortunate in this town. Chrisya continues. One of the ways we help them is to run an education program for poor kids to learn how to read and write. Actually, we can only hold the classes as long as there is a vacant land and a large tree. When the weather gets hot, it becomes uncomfortable for kids to study outside. It changes their passion to learn. She explains that her father is trying to collect donations to make a proper place for them to learn. We need a lot of money, yet our family business isn't doing so well, so progress has been very slow. Chrisya explains. Since I have the same vision, I help him take care of this bookstore. I also have a sister who still runs the education program. Diane realizes. Now I know where her spirit of helping people comes from. Diane is impressed. Your family is awesome. No wonder you're willing to help strangers like me. Back then, you're safe here. Drink your tea and take a rest, okay? Chrisya wraps a blanket around Diane. Chrisya is beaming. Diane thinks, if she isn't an angel, then I refuse to believe that angels do exist. She asks Diane about the party. Ha ha ha, it's just a coincidence. Anyway, how was the party last night? Diane replies. Yeah? It was great. The only sad part was that I didn't have a chance to introduce you to my friends. Chrisya suggests. Well, you can bring them here next time. Diane is excited by the idea. That's a great idea. Last night we also... She suddenly stops herself. Wait. Should I tell her about Lechapi and his father now? Chrisya notices Diane's hesitation. What's wrong? Why did you stop talking? Is there anything that bothers you? Diane waves it off. And nothing. Let's just discuss it after you've met them, Chrisya teases. Ahaha, alright. Diane said anyway, it seems like you're the one with problems, Chrisya assures her. Oh, you mean the issue with the donation? Fortunately, it's been resolved. But Diane is still concerned. Then, why does your face look so unhappy? Huh? Really? Diane slaps herself. I mean, usually, you look glowing like the sun. But now, a shadow seems to dim the light on your face. Damn, that's so embarrassing. Chrisya apologizes. Sorry to concern you, she admits. There actually is something bothering me. Diane asked, is it something bad? Chrisya looks serious. It seems that I'm going to get married soon. Diane is in shock. What? She's getting married? So suddenly? After some time. Unbelievable! She shouts. I won't let that marriage happen. She's too young. Lechapi twitches hearing this. He sighs and said, I don't think I can work while listening to your story. But he offers to talk anyway. First, since she is older than you, isn't it normal if her parents want her to marry? Diane replied, if it's to a person that she loves, then yes. I will absolutely support her. But it's a political marriage. Diane explains that the girl is being forced to marry for money. What if she's not happy? Lechapi asked. Isn't that what happened with our parents? We tend to select partners who are richer than us, right? Diane pouts and said. Didn't you get what I mean? She's under pressure. He asks what Diane wants to do about it, but cautions her to not just pout. Then I will solve the problem, Diane declares, eyes blazing with resolve. I will build a business to help her. Lechapi recognizes that same spark from last time, but reminds her that her last business was just a charity project. Diane insists. Well, it was a charity project, not a business. This time it's going to be a real business that makes a profit. Diane wants Lechapi's help to write a business proposal. You've got a lot of experience. If you help me, I'm sure I'll write a successful one. Lechapi wonders why Diane is so against this marriage, but Diane's got her reasons. She feels sad for the girl, and wants to return the favor to her. Lechapi caves. Okay, I'll help you. He hands Diane a piece of paper. Write down your plan for the business on this paper. You can use my working desk. And Diane gets right to it. She writes multiple times. Lechapi watches her, thinking, this is the first time I see her so sure about what she wants. Finally, Diane shouts, it's done! She presents the proposal to Lechapi, who reads it and gives her a look. Bookshop? Are you serious? He questions her motives, asking if she's trying to help the girl, or be her competitor. Diane defends her plan, bringing up the Harangro ship incident. He said, of course, it's the one that sunk many people's imported goods, including my family's. It affected my business as well. We see a flashback of chests and goods sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Our trade group suffered quite a loss. I heard many bankrupted because of it as well. Diane explains that. That's why I think a bookshop is the best way to help her. I can help her find new vendors that have lower prices or who can be her resellers to other cities, she adds triumphantly. Therefore, she will get money and cancel her marriage. Lechapi is still skeptical, but admits that it seems to have potential. He'll handle the prospect analysis, while Diane handles the concept of the bookstore. Diane's overjoyed. Thank you so much! You're so reliable! You're the best! He got surprised by her reaction. Then Lechapi agrees to discuss it again in 2 days. Cut to a gazebo in a garden, where Diane, Lechapi, and Flyan are having tea. This is amazing! Thank you guys! Diane exclaims. Their tea party is interrupted by Alex, who says, excuse me, sir, your father asked me to give these documents to you. He has sorted out the candidates to be your wife, he adds. Since you haven't chosen at all, the papers keep piling up in your room. Lechapi groans. Geez. Father! He tells Alex to just put the documents down and bring him his glasses. Diane's surprised. Huh! Since when are you wearing glasses, Lechapi? The last time we met you didn't wear it. Lechapi explains that it's pretty new, and thinks it's because he reads too many documents. But I only use it sometimes when my eyes feel tired. As Alex places the stack of documents on the table, Diane warns, don't do that! It can get worse. Lechapi assures her that he can see without them, but it definitely feels better when he wears them. Diane's got an idea. Glasses? I just got a perfect idea for Lechapi's present, but first, she tells him to. Just make sure you wear it every time you work on documents. Looking at the stack of documents, Diane exclaims. Whoa, that's a lot of girls, Lechapi. Lechapi replies. Even though my family is not as rich as yours, I still have lots of girls queuing for marriage. Alex arrives with the glasses. Lechapi puts them on and starts rumbling through documents, while Diane and Flyan stares. He asked, wait, what are you two doing, huh? Diane explains that they're helping Lechapi sort through the candidates. Of course, we can do that, right? Lechapi sighs. Fine. Do as you wish. Diane picks up a photo, exclaiming, Whoa! I know her! Diane and Flyan start commenting on each candidate's flaws. This girl loves gossip and shopping. Don't marry her! This girl too. And this lady, she is known for having an affair with that count. And my mother knows this girl. She is lady whose mother married several times for money. Lechapi has had enough. That's enough! You two are just making fun of me. Flyan turns the tables, asking Diane how many suitors she has. Lechapi chimes in. Yeah, you haven't decided on that too, right? Diane replies. I do have a lot of suitors. But none of them interest me, she adds. I want to find my true purpose in life before getting married to a man. I want to be a woman like my sister and my angel. And hopefully, I can meet the love of my life along the way, Flyan teases. Says the girl who loves to read horror stories instead of romance. Diane points out that Flyan is lucky to have been engaged to Prince Leos since she was a child. That's why you don't have to worry about business nor money. Flyan suggests Diane get one too, and proposes Prince Yuzuru. Diane and Lechapi are shocked. You mean that 6-year-old kid? Flyan replies. Teehee, as long as he's rich, right? Diane and Flyan run around the garden as Lechapi sighs. What would others think if they see you ladies running around like that? Just then, the butler announces that the ladies' carriages have arrived. Lechapi calls out, Girls! It's time to go home. Your carriages are here. Diane and Flyan are being playful, but eventually agree to leave. Lechapi asked if their mothers will agree with the plan. Diane assures them, Leave it to me. My family always asks me about what I want to do with my life, so this is it. It will be an answer for them. The girls say their goodbyes to Lechapi and head off in their carriages. We then see Diane arriving at her house, a grand mansion. Inside, her mother, the Marquess Harp, is enjoying a cup of tea. Finally, I can have a break. Suddenly, Diane bursts in, startling her mother. Mother! I want to open a bookshop. The Marquess is completely taken aback. What on earth? What are you talking about, Diane? Diane wakes up with a start. The proposal she and Lechapi made together weighing heavily on her mind. Kicking her legs in frustration, she remembers all the notes her mother sent back, demanding changes, change this part, and this. Flashback time. Diane stands before her mother's desk, stacks of documents in her hands. What about the quarterly distribution flow? Her mother asks. Even though this is an antique bookshop, new releases are still on the list of distributed books. Diane listens intently as her mother continues. You need to select the main vendors from the list and find out how they distribute their books. Your proposal is too weak right now. Diane points to a section. Oh, it's written in the red section, Mother. Her mother questions the data. Okay. But this data is just during the last 3 years, right? Since it'll be distributed across the continents, even the fastest delivery service can take a year to a decade. Diane's face falls. Next, what about the cost? Her mother asks. Diane replies, It's in the blue section, Mother. I'm planning to use the services of Blue Shell Island for that. Her mother raises an eyebrow. You get a discount for being Lechapi's friend, don't you? Diane happily confirms. Of course, Mother. But the interrogation continues. For how long can we keep this price? About that. Her mother interrupts. Even though Count Lyad dominates the business, you shouldn't forget Mr. Grandoran is one of their shareholders. If something happens, you will have to renegotiate the price. And without his approval, you will have to look for another business. The barrage of questions keeps coming. Also, what about the storehouse to keep all the books temporarily? Who are your target customers? Have you joined any associations? You wrote that you will start gaining profit in 6 months. But judging from this proposal, my best verdict is 5 years. Diane's mother continues to tear her proposal apart. Back in bed, Diane clutches her head in frustration. Hufty, building a bookshop is harder than I thought. I have to create a more detailed proposal tomorrow. I should meet Lechapi to revise the proposal, and create a plan B just in case. And then do more thorough research. With that thought, she drifts back to sleep. The next day, Lechapi said, If the Marquis said all that, this business may be very difficult to succeed. Diane replied, But I need that bookshop immediately. He said, Hold yourself, Diane, Lechapi said. It's clear Marquis asked you those questions because she wants you to be serious this time. Otherwise, her notes wouldn't be as detailed as these. She's minimizing the risks for you. So if anything happened, it would be due to an external factor, instead of being your fault. Lechapi then asks, Why don't you just tell her the truth? Diane vehemently refuses. And no. That's out of the question. The whole house will turn upside down. Don't you remember what happened 10 years ago at the festival? A flashback to 10 years ago shows young Diane, Lechapi, and Flyan running through a festival. Catch me if you can. Flyan was carrying her bag. Suddenly, a group of cloaked figures appear. Hello, young ladies, young master. Looks like you're having fun, huh? Why don't you share it with us? Young Flyan cries out. Don't come close or my father will send you to jail. But they strike her anyway. Who cares? Now give me your money. They rob her purse, Lechapi shouts. Thieves! Diane rushes to comfort a crying Flyan. Marquis Harp came shouting. Diane, Flyan, Lechapi. As soon as we were home, my mother scolded me for taking you and Flyan out to the festival without telling anyone and making Flyan hurt. Flyan cries. It hurts. Her mother comforts her. It's okay, let's go home. Let's treat your wound at home, okay? After reaching their home, a maid gives first aid to Flyan. Back in the present, Diane resolves. I know it's not going to be easy, but I really want to make it on my own this time. If my family found out about the real reason, then will never let me start this business, Lechapi sighs. So you want to do this by yourself privately? Diane replies. Absolutely. Since it's a marriage of convenience, the preparation will take a while due to the rules of the kingdom. Besides, we're still in the grieving period for the deceased queen, Lechapi smiles. Right. Your angel's loss is heard to be not as big as the loss of the other nobilities. I believe you can make it without the help of the Marquis. You always get things done, when you want something done. Diane blushes, her heart beating fast. She turns her gaze away saying, Thanks. Lechapi gets back to the proposal. I've marked what to add. But I can't help you with the distribution flow plan. Do you have any idea? Diane answers. I'm going to go to the big city. I'll interview a few bookshop owners there. I will also get an assistant to help me, Lechapi says. Great then. Diane suddenly notices Lechapi wearing glasses. Are you wearing this all the time now? Lechapi, sipping from a teacup, replies. Yeah, there are just too many Harangro documents that I need to check. Diane takes the glasses. Are you sure your eyesight is a minus? I don't feel any difference with mine. Lechapi looks at her, unamused. Diane squints. Nope. Nothing is different, Lechapi said. Enough. It's not good to wear them when your eyes are good enough. Diane, holding a document, insists. I just want to make sure this thing is working. He steps closer. Lechapi pulls the document away. Huh! He grabs her face. I said it's not good for you. He removes glasses from her face. Diane's heart pounds. Her face turns red, blushing. She thinks, what is happening? She stumbles back, knocking into a clock. Lechapi rushes to her side. What's wrong? Diane nervously replies. And nothing. Lechapi tries to continue working. Then let's Conti, Diane suddenly declares. No need to. Let's call it a day and continue it in 2 days. Lechapi is confused. What do you mean 2 days? You won't come here tomorrow? Diane replies. Nope. I need to see my angel. I'm off, Lechapi. Give my thanks to your parents. Diane rushes out. Why are you leaving so suddenly? It's getting late. By at least let me see. Without completing her words, she ran away. She thinks, I hope he doesn't follow me. Lechapi watches her leave, a thoughtful expression on his face. Did I say something wrong? Diane, outside, clutches her chest. What the hell? Why is my heart pounding like this? The clip-clop of hooves on cobblestone streets sets the scene. Hi, Chrisya! Diane calls out, arriving at Chrisya's bookstore. Diane! You came late today. Chrisya greets her friend with a bright smile. Diane explains. There was something I had to work on. Are you busy? Chrisya replies, ever so cheerfully. No. I'm always available. She introduces Diane to the children gathered, telling them. This is a friend of mine. Her name is Diane. Diane smiles warmly at the children. Yeah, please continue your study. The kids smiled and said, thank you. Chrisya then explains. They are my sister's students. Let's talk in my office. As they head off, Chrisya asks, would you like to have rose tea, Diane? Diane accepts with a polite, yes. Thank you. Chrisya pours the tea, explaining, those kids usually come by to read before having dinner. I see. That's why you have common books as well, not only the old ones, Diane observes, looking around the office. Chrisya elaborates. Our family isn't that wealthy, but at least we can help them read by lending them books from our bookstore. And I can't buy books for them. So I let them come and read books here. Diane sips her tea, concerned. What about their food supply? They're not starving, are they? Chrisya explains. Of course not. People from the lower class get donations from people in town. But they prefer to spend the money on food rather than books. Chrisya continues. The kids would be able to escape poverty if they're able to read books and study, since they would be able to get better jobs. So that's why it's important for them to learn how to read and write. I hope things change one day. Diane, clearly moved, covers her mouth with her hand. I feel ridiculous. These people's issue is not just food, Diane, looking down, said. Chrisya not only recognizes the problem, but also made a solution for the problem. Chrisya continues. But it's because of people like Diane who donate food that they're able to survive. A lot of people in other areas of our kingdom still struggle with food supplies. In this town, high-class people give donations, so there's no one dying in cold winter nor dying due to hunger. We are lucky to live here. Chrisya pours more tea for Diane. Let me add more tea to your cup. How is it possible that there's someone this kind? Diane thinks to herself. God must not know, or he will take her to heaven, Chrisya asks. So, how are you? I want to hear your story too. Diane replies. Thanks. She continues. I got a letter from my brother that he is inheriting a land in the suburbs. Chrisya asks. Do you get a land too? Diane responds. I can if I want to, Chrisya exclaims, impressed. Wow, your family's amazing. Diane laughs, but internally she worries. The thing is, I don't want to bother her with my family issues and make her feel inferior. I hate myself for even worrying things like this. She's a good person, Diane deflects. Thanks for saying so, but I'm actually a bit lazy. My mother told me that I'd be running late even on my wedding day. Chrisya giggles, then says, Actually, I have something that I need to tell you. Diane gulps, looking nervous. Chrisya reveals, I have to leave this bookstore soon. Diane asks, surprised. How come? Wouldn't it take some time to prepare for the wedding? Chrisya laughs. Ha ha ha, calm down, Diane. It will still in the grieving for the deceased queen, but there's a lot of things I need to learn. So I'm going to live at my future husband's house until the wedding. Chrisya continues, a bit worried. I'm worried about leaving the bookstore, but this is for the best for everyone, after all. I was also worried about the kids, but fortunately, my future husband said he'll help them. I won't be able to teach them myself, but it's still very considerate of him. Diane asks cautiously. May I know who is going to be your future husband? Chrisya answers. I'm sorry, but I can't reveal it yet. It's too early to do that. But don't worry, we can still see each other. I'm not going out of town. Suddenly, a knock at the door interrupts them. Excuse me, miss. Do you have time? Chrisya responds. Yes, what is it? Diane, seeing her chance to slip away, says. Well, I'd better get going. Sorry we can't talk longer. Chrisya replies. It's okay, let's meet again another time. Back at home, Diane tosses and turns in bed, consumed by her own worries. After returning home, I even skipped a meal and lay in my bed worrying. If only I can solve this directly with money, but I don't want to ruin my relationship with my angel. I'm worried she'll get offended by it. Should I tell my mother about this? I guess there's no other way, even though they will be shocked to hear it. Knock, knock. Diane, are you there? Her brother calls out. I heard someone is pouting and doesn't want to eat. Diane's face lights up. Brother, she exclaims. I've missed you, and leaps into his arms. He laughs. Ha ha, me too. Anyway, your mother and sister are worried about you. Mother said that you were so excited about opening your own bookstore, but she commented on the weaknesses of your proposal, and it upset you. Diane protests. Wha? No, that's not it, her brother asks gently. Then what? He sets her down, concerned. Diane hesitates. What mother said is right. It's me that is not well prepared, her brother suggests. So why don't you join the others and eat? Diane thinks. Should I tell him about Chrisya instead of my mother? I feel bad that he came all this way just to check on me. I just lost my appetite because I was thinking too much about my angel, her brother says reassuringly. It's okay if you don't want to tell me, but don't let anything take away your light, okay? Diane looks up at him, touched. Maybe later. Diane perks up, a little smile forming. All right, he said. Corey said he put a doll to cheer you up. He points to Rabbit Doll. Oh, there it is. Diane gasps. Oh my, I didn't notice. She hugs the stuffed bunny tightly. After all, I am the luckiest girl. Even my 8-year-old nephew is worried about me. Her brother spots a wrapped gift. Is this what I think it is? He picks it up, recognizing it. She said. Yes, it's Lechapi's present. I haven't had the time to wrap it, he suggests. Let's do it together. You need to go see him tonight, don't you? She smiles. Yes, thank you, brother. They wrap the gift together. Diane, holding up the finished product, cheers. Yay! We're done, her brother, satisfied, says. Well, since you already feel better, I will go back to Mother and our sister. Don't forget to eat a bit before you go to Lechapi's house, okay? Diane nods with a smile. Her brother reminds her. Say happy birthday to Lechapi for me, will you? Diane responds. I will. Suddenly someone knocks the door. Come in, Diane calls, still holding the bunny. A servant asks. Are you feeling better, miss? Do you need something? Diane replies. Yes, Pyre, please bring me some food, but nothing heavy, and get me someone that can help me dress up. Pyre responds. All right, miss, another maid offers. I can help you with that, miss. Diane beams. Asya helps Diane into a beautiful pink dress. She helps her getting ready. She gave her matching shoes with her dress. You're looking so beautiful, miss, Asya says. But why don't you wear a more splendid dress? Diane explains. This is only a private party, Asya. Also, I don't want to outshine Lechapi since it's his birthday. Pyre arrives with a tray of appetizers. Your appetizer is here, miss. Oh, thanks, Pyre, Asya says. In her head, she pushes aside her worries. Let's forget about Chrisya for a while. Lechapi deserves the best birthday party today. Diane takes a bite of a macaron. Under the moonlight, Lechapi's birthday has finally arrived. Diane arrives at the gate, wondering why she was asked to wait outside. What's going on? Why did your servant ask me to wait for you here? Lechapi appears. And what's with that fancy clothes of yours? Isn't this just a private party between us? He drops a bombshell. We have another guest for tonight's dinner. My father will introduce my future stepmother. Diane is floored. What? She realizes her outfit isn't fancy enough. Why didn't you tell me? This dress doesn't suit a formal party. Flyan arrives on the scene. Hey, what's happening? Why are you two gathered here? Lechapi repeats the news. They will introduce my future stepmother at the dinner party today. Flyan is just as shocked as Diane. You should have told me earlier. I woke up and picked out my dress carelessly. The girls try to physically wrestle Lechapi. Change it! Diane and Flyan shout. Lechapi protests. No! My father specifically asked me to wear this. Hey! Don't pull! Geez, let it go. Let's get inside. They're waiting for us. Once inside, Diane tells Lechapi. Lechapi, this is your birthday present. He said you should have handed it to my servant when we entered the house. Diane, beaming, refuses. No. I want you to receive and open it yourself. She can barely contain her excitement. Oh, you are all here, Diane, Flyan, Lechapi. Count Lyad, looking every bit the distinguished gentleman, greets them. Good evening, Count Lyad, the girls say. Diane, Flyan, thank you for coming, he responds. Then, the words we've all been dreading. Allow me to introduce my future wife, Lady Saldo. These are my son's friends. The scene dramatically pans up to reveal Chrisya. Diane's jaw drops. Diane drops the present. Luckily, Lechapi catches it. Flyan asks, Are you okay, Diane? Chrisya looks at Diane knowingly. Diane. Later, the trio gathers to discuss this development. Diane asked, You could have told me sooner. I was surprised as well, Lechapi says. I had no idea she was Miss Saldo. You never mentioned her name, and always just called her my angel. Diane is now on a mission. Now we know she's going to marry your father. You must help me cancel it. Lechapi hesitates. WL, Diane pleads. Please, you don't want to have a very young mother, right, Lechapi? Flyan chimes in. You don't have to worry that much, Diane asks. What do you mean? Flyan shrugs. At least she's not marrying a man with a bad reputation. Count Lyad is a good spouse candidate. Besides, you can still meet her anytime. Diane concedes. That's right, but something still doesn't feel right. We get a glimpse into the Lyad family's history. The Lyad family is part of Singalomer's lineage, and they built the dynasty a long time ago. They also own worldwide trading companies such as Blue Island Shell. This doesn't have to end in marriage, Flyan questions. Diane. Why are you silent? Diane, resolute, declares. Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. I know your family is trustworthy, Lechapi, but I am standing by my decision. I want to sabotage their marriage. Flyan is taken aback. Diane, are you sure? This is Lechapi's father we are against, she adds. I know. That's also why I'm going to need your support, guys, he asked. You want me to fight my own father? She pleads. Yes, please. Don't you feel strange having a mother who's about the same age as your age? Flyan admits. Well, I have to admit it is strange, Lechapi sighs. Flyan is on board, so how? He relents. Fine. I never thought she would be near our age. I thought she would be older, Lechapi warns them. But let me warn you, getting in the way of my father's business won't be that easy. We need to plan it carefully. Let's move to the library to discuss more. Diane cheers. You're the best, Lechapi. Lechapi blushes. Don't call me Lechapi. We're adults now. The girls tease Lechapi with nicknames. Lechapi. Lit. The great, rich, handsome, and kind. Lechapi, flustered, cries. Stop it! In the library, they get down to business. Lechapi explains. First of all, the root of this problem is the Harangro ship incident. This is the manifestation document of that ship, Diane said. Even though their loss is quite small compared to other groups, it can still cost them assets such as the bookshop and their house, he said. Yeah, I think that's why they decided to seal the deal with a marriage, Diane asks. If it's just a typical loan? I mean, they aren't sure they can pay back the money, Lechapi tells them. No, that's not it. My father just met him recently. They don't really know each other that well, so to be safe, they are sealing the deal with this arranged marriage, Flyan suggests. Wouldn't it be easier if Diane lent them the money? Now that we've met them here, she can try to talk to her. Lechapi shakes his head. Baron Saldo won't believe in such a sudden act of kindness. It makes more sense if he could close the deal with marriage as a guarantee. Since she has come to our place, that means the preparation is almost done, Flyan asks. Is there any way for Count Lyad to suddenly change his mind? Lechapi replies. I don't think my father will do that to such a serious matter, Diane asked. But what does he actually gain from this marriage besides getting a wife, he said. This marriage is beneficial for our business. Baron Saldo has a group circle that we haven't reached yet. I believe my father saw an opportunity to expand our business, Diane continues. That would mean we need another plan that will give us an almost instant result, Lechapi proposes. How about we spread a rumor, for example, that Lady Saldo already has a lover? Diane is horrified. No! That will make Chrisya's condition worse. Lechapi tries to calm her down. Calm down. It's just an idea, Lechapi adds. Geez, the debt is not that big, but it is hard to cancel their plan. While they both are planning, Flyan focused on eating. She eats all the cupcakes, he said. I guess there's no other way then. After eating it all, she sighed, then said, If you can't take your father's place to marry her, then marry another girl, Diane explains. That way, Lechapi's marriage would be prioritized. It's impossible to hold 2 consecutive marriages, let alone at the same time. It will cost too much money. Diane snaps her fingers. Flyan, you're the smartest. Let's help Lechapi choose someone from all the proposals. Flyan agrees. Yeah. Let's go, Lechapi. Lechapi reminds them. It's almost time for dinner. We need to go to the dining room. And the dinner finally began. Count Lyad speaks to Diane. Diane, I'm surprised you already know Lady Saldo. Lechapi's future stepmother. Diane replies smoothly. Yes. We've just known each other for a while. She almost spills the beans. Diane quickly recovers. Lechapi drops a bomb. Father, I have actually decided to get married as well. Count Lyad is shocked. Really? What made you make this sudden decision? You haven't even selected anyone from the proposals, Lechapi stammers. Well, it's because, Diane interrupts saying, actually it is because of me. Diane boldly declares. Lechapi and I are dating. Meanwhile she thinks. What are you doing, Diane? Chrisya can only whisper. Oh my. Diane drops a bomb during the meal. Lechapi and I are dating. Everyone's reaction is gold. Chrisya gasps. Oh my. While Lechapi looks absolutely floored, Flyan chokes on her drink. Gulp, Count Lyad demands. You and Lechapi? Since when? Diane stammers. That. Her confession leaves Count Lyad speechless, and he wonders how Lechapi never mentioned anything. He confesses he was confused about how to tell him. The Count sits down hard, muttering. Geez, now what should I do? We can't have 2 marriages at once. Lechapi apologizes to his father, while Diane thinks. Crap! We didn't go too far, did we? Chrisya, Flyan, and Diane's eyes meet. Flyan asks. Have you both done something that made you decide to announce this so suddenly? Count Lyad is having none of it, a dark aura surrounding him. Tell me you didn't do that! He exclaims, staring down his son. Lechapi quickly denies it. Of course not. Diane is sweating, thinking. Flyan, you're making it worse. Later, Diane thanks Lechapi. Lit. Thank you so much. If only you hadn't followed my lead. Everything would have been over. Flyan is surprised. I didn't expect you guys to follow the 2-marriage scenario, she says, then asks. But you guys aren't really a couple, are you? They both immediately replies. Of course not, he groans, adding. But I don't know what crossed your mind, Diane, to say such a thing so suddenly. Sitting together, Flynn asks. Yeah. I wonder what you are planning with that, Diane. Diane gives her puppy eyes. Well, sorry, I don't have any specific plan. All I could think of at the time was to cancel Chrisya's marriage, Flynn hums. Well, the more important thing now is how you will keep up the act, Diane realizes. Act, that's right, Flynn suggests. We better plan it together. Do you have paper and pen here, Lechapi? With 2 upcoming marriages, Count Lyad must now prioritize which marriage takes place first. The kingdom has a law to prioritize the weddings of those who are young, so you can make the process faster if you want, Flynn says. For example, if you and Lechapi has done that thing, then you'll. Lechapi interrupts. Shut your mouth. We're not going to do that, Lechapi says. For now, we're just going to follow the regular path. What's important from now on is that my father will always talk with me before making any decision regarding the marriage, Flynn playfully teases. So I was just kidding, Flynn then asks. By the way, Lechapi, why don't you open your birthday presents now? Flynn exclaims. Right. The one on the top is Diane's, isn't it? Lechapi says. Since my gift for you hasn't arrived yet, Flynn grabs Diane's gift. Why don't we open this one first? I'm curious to see what's inside. Lechapi holds up the paper with the list of potential things to do. Can we go back and discuss this first? He explains. Since we've made ourselves heard, my father won't be marrying anytime soon. And by adding 4 months after the mourning period ends, we have 10 months to prepare, Lechapi asks. Are you ready to pretend that long? There's no way back after this. Diane nods, and with a sparkle she says, I'm ready. As long as we stick together, we can do anything, Lechapi states. We should pretend to be a couple at least until Baron Saldo's financial issues are resolved. We need to deceive my father as long as we can. Diane stutters. Deceive? Lechapi reassures her. Don't worry, it's just a term, Flynn adds. Isn't this good for you, Diane? Flynn continues. This way, it's not going to look suspicious even if you visit Chrisya often. Count Lyad will just see it as you trying to be closer to Lechapi's family. With stars in her eyes, Diane thinks. Flynn is right. Now I can spend more time with Chrisya, Diane said. You're a genius, Flynn, she laughs. Of course I am. That way, Count Lyad won't be suspicious of you. Lechapi says, yeah, do whatever you want. But just be careful, Diane cheerfully exclaims. Don't worry, it's going to be fine. Diane presents Lechapi's gift. Now, how about you open your presents? I want to know whether you like it or not. He replies. Okay, she then adds. Actually, I have 2 presents for you, but please open this one first. Lechapi opens the gift and exclaims. This is. He is shocked. Prescroped's grimoire? This is a rare book, isn't it? Diane puffs out her chest. Of course, but I got it for you. Do you like it? Lechapi smiles. I do. He opens the book and starts flipping through the pages. He then says, Let me sign it, Flynn tells Lechapi. Wait until you get my gift next week. You're going to be amazed. Lechapi laughs nervously. Ha! I hope there's nothing suspicious or dangerous about it, Lechapi says. Flynn, she always came up with unusual ideas. He remembers that last year, Flynn hired a famous novel writer to write Lechapi's biography as his birthday present. You shall never forget it, Diane asks. Okay. How about you open my second gift now, Lechapi? I wrapped it myself. Lechapi examines the gift. This one is a little heavy and has a thick cover. I'm going to need a box opener, Flynn says. I'll go get it for you. Where is it? She rummages through a drawer. In the drawer on the right side of my bed. She grabs the box opener. Got it, Lechapi smiles. Okay, let's open this, Diane thinks. Is that the box opener that I gave him for his birthday last year? She realizes. He does use it. Lechapi opens the present. He is amazed by the gift. Whoa, it's so beautiful. He examines it and says. He said. Oh, whoa, this is. Diane can barely contain her excitement as she asks. Do you know what that is? Lechapi holds up a delicate chain. Of course. It's a chain for glasses, isn't it? But this isn't an ordinary chain. He lifts it higher. Yes, it's sparkling like diamonds. It must be expensive, Flynn gasps. Completely impressed. Diane's beaming, she adds. By all means, I would never give you something ordinary. He noticed it and said. Oh, it's shining, Diane tells. It's shining because it's responding to your magic. Lion is in awe and Lechipi looks surprised. Is this made from magic crystals? He wonders. Diane grins. Precisely, she explains. My family possesses 3 magic crystal mines and develops astonishing technology that can combine the crystals together as merchandise or jewelry. Every single bead is valuable, therefore they must be treated with care. For Lechipi's chain, I use 21 magic crystals, she thinks. We cast an extraordinary spell on the crystals so that it keeps them lightweight. Diane strikes a cute pose. As one of the daughters of the Harp family who will inherit one of the 3 crystal mines, I believe this is the perfect gift for Lechipi which no one can give but me. Lechipi looks touched. How long did it take for you to prepare this? Fairly short, I dare say less than a week. Diane replies. I assembled it quickly after I heard the news of the Harangro incident. Suddenly, Diane looks downcast. Your original present was drowned along with the ship. It was very upsetting. We see Diane in her night clothes, surrounded by crystals. Luckily, I remembered having these magic crystals. My family gives me some every year, so I have plenty of them. Lechipi smiles warmly. Oh, I see. Thank you so much, Diane. Don't mention it. Diane chirps, clearly happy to have made him happy. Lechipi puts on the glasses chain. If this is magical then, Flyan claps excitedly. He adjusts the glasses and smiles. It's beautiful. Being able to use magic must feel so good. I envy you. Oh, don't be. Lechipi says, looking a little embarrassed. I'm too shy to show it to people, Diane thinks. Among the 3 of us, Lechipi is the only one who can use magic. Unfortunately, he didn't go into it any further, so he only knows the basics. We see him levitating a vase. If only he had another sibling to take care of the family business, he would have had more time for practice, Flyan then said. One more thing, he asked. What? Flyan speaks up, looking concerned. I know you both will only fake dating. But I think you will need a tangible plan for your father to believe this is real, Lechipi. Lechipi nods seriously. He won't buy our words easily. We need to prove it. Diane is pensive. Flyan continues. No, words are important as well. For instance, if he asked you, what do you like about each other? Lechipi and Diane are taken aback. Flyan is impatient. Don't hesitate. You have to answer quickly. Lechipi thinks hard. Her cheerful personality? Diane, equally flustered, says. His face, Diane said. Wait, you make my answer sound so shallow. Flyan said, geez, you need to practice more. Cut to a door where someone is knocking. Lechipi sits reading the book while he said, Come in. The door creaks open. It's Count, holding a gift-wrapped box. Father? Count Lyot observes. Whenever Diane and Flyan are here, the house becomes more lively. Count approaches. This is your birthday gift from Miss Saldo. She apologized for not being able to give it to you herself. He takes the gift. Thank you. I wonder what's in it. He thinks. Diane treasures her friendship with Chrisya incredibly. Anyone who saw them would be able to tell that they bonded like 2 close sisters. She turns sad whenever she's saying goodbye to Chrisya, but she turns almost instantly back to being happy whenever she gets a chance to see Chrisya. He opens the gift. Oh, it's an antique book. They really have the same interest, huh? Count said, that's why she asked me to give it to you. He examines it closely. He thinks, this is a magic book for beginners. My father must have told her about my interest in magic. She seems like a nice person, just like what Diane told me. Lechipi looks up as Count Lyot prepares to leave. Please send my gratitude to Miss Saldo. I will. Count responds. Count Lyot turns back to Lechipi. Is there something you want to tell me? Lechipi visibly gulps. I didn't know you were in that kind of relationship with Diane. Does the Harp family know about your relationship with Diane? Lechipi replies. No, not yet. We haven't told anyone. His father presses him. You have to inform them properly. Flashback to scenes of Diane as a child. Diane was born when Marquis Harp was around 40 years old. She was pampered by her family, but I'm glad she is not a greedy person. Count Lyot raises an eyebrow. That eyeglass chain, she's the one who gave it to you, right? Lechipi's heart pounds. It's very thoughtful of her. To give you a chain with magic crystals, Count Lyot is serious. If your purpose on dating Diane is to marry her, you have to plan it carefully. I don't know about Marquis and her husband, but Starrett and Rockin won't sit still when it comes to Diane. Lechipi gulps, picturing Diane's protective siblings. That's exactly what I've been worried about. It won't be easy to convince her brother and sister. Diane will soon become a Marquess. I'm sure they will create a checklist for her suitors. I'm afraid I won't even make it on the candidate list. He said, I understand, father. His father encourages him. Worry not, Lechapi. They won't reject you if their daughter really loves you. Lechapi forces a smile. Ah ha ha ha. Thank you, father. Count Lyad puts a hand on Lechapi's shoulder. Actually, there's one thing I want to know. What is it? Lechapi asks nervously. Count Lyad's eyes sparkle with amusement. What do you like about Diane? Lechapi gasps, his face turning bright red. Damn it! Now what should I say? Count Lyad chuckles as he sees Lechapi's reaction. Ha! Never mind. I can see it clearly on your face. Now take a rest. See you tomorrow. He exits the room, leaving Lechapi flustered. Count Lyad smiles to himself. He is definitely in love with her. Stare at his back. And Diane is overcome with joy, rushing to hug her sister. Sister Starrett! She cries. After so long, they are finally reunited in the Grand Castle. Starrett pats Diane's hair affectionately as they sit together on the bed. After that street said, and it's done, Diane falls back on her saying, Ah, it's been a long time. I've missed you, Street. She replied, Whoa, what are you doing, Diane? Diane said. You're always busy helping Mother. We rarely spend time together now. Starrett smiles and said, Well, I guess that can't be helped. But didn't you have fun attending Lechapi's party today? Diane didn't reply and stayed silent. Starrett asked, Did something happen during my absence? Diane rises, a knowing look on her face. How did you know? She asks, surprised. How can I not? There's nothing I don't know about you. Starrett responds confidently. Diane's smile falters. Well, actually, there is. You don't know what I've done at the party, let alone why I did it. She confesses. Diane's eyes widen in alarm, and Starrett leans in, a steely glint in her eye. Then tell me, she demands. Diane stammers. Huh? Well, she hesitates, finally blurting out. What if I want to get married? Diane looked hesitant. Starrett replied. I'm sure our family won't oppose it, Diane. She assures her, touching Diane's hand. The only thing you should consider is we must know who the person is. Diane sulks. Why don't you tell me what's wrong? Starrett pleads. Diane gulps, her secret weighing heavily on her. This time I can't tell you. It's really a secret, she says, fidgeting with her hands. Starrett smiles knowingly. Really? Yeah, but I know that one day when I tell you, you will support me, right? She asks with a wink. Starrett flicks Diane's forehead playfully, then pulls her into a warm hug. Later, Diane's maid, Pierre, asks, Are you going to meet Miss Saldo again, miss? Diane looks up. I am. Why are you asking, Pierre? Pierre explains that Starrett seemed disappointed that the two of them now rarely spend time together. It cannot be helped, Pierre. She is now too busy with her work, Diane replies. Starrett will soon become one of the successors of the Harp family, as well as becoming Count Palamat. No wonder she's getting busier and busier every day, except for the times when Starrett comes to visit Diane after work while checking on her daughter and son. They rarely share a private moment together now, she said. I heard she's going to take part in the dance of the Alps Odyssey. I was overjoyed when she told me. I think she really deserves to be there. She is as glorious as the Queen Alps Odyssey herself. She looks really nice when she holds her sword. Pierre said yes. I wholeheartedly agree with you, miss. The panel shows Starrett gracefully wielding a sword. There's no doubt. She's terrific, Diane and Pierre exclaim in unison. Most of the participants at the dance of the Alps Odyssey wear puffy dresses, which is not actually obligatory, but they still do it anyway to copy Queen Alps Odyssey, who is wearing a dress while protecting the Emperor. It's such an inconvenient costume, but it will give them a dignified victory if they win wearing it. Besides, it makes the arena look like a garden of blooming flowers. When Starrett fought against Impel, Lechapi's cousin, everyone just lost it. The way they swung their swords stole everyone's attention, and it will remain in everyone's memories for decades to come. Even though I was still just a beginner at the time, I could tell it just by watching them play, Diane says. I used to think that it would be awesome to see Starrett become a knight. If only Rocken decide to take the title, I believe Starrett would have considered being a knight, Pierre responds. But your brother doesn't have any interest in having titles just like you, Mississippi. Then Pierre asks if she will be going to work out with Chrisya. Diane says she supposes so, as all the documents from bookshops that she's been contacting these days are due to arrive today, and she needs to check it. Pierre expresses concern. Pardon me, Mississippi. You're so busy lately that I think you lost some weight. Why do you look so concerned? I'm worried about your health. Diane assures Pierre that she'll take better care of herself. She thinks to herself, she's right. I was too excited with all the events happening that I forgot to take care of myself. Later, Diane's staff presents her with a mountain of gifts. I did not realize it would go this far, she says, surprised. Lechapi sits reading some documents. Everything has been put here, Mississippi. If there's nothing else, we will excuse ourselves, the staff says, bowing. Yes, Alex, thanks a lot, Diane responds. Hey, Lechapi, take a break and join me here. See what I've bought, she calls out. Lechapi seems upset. Why did you bring all of those stuffs to my office? Did you want to show it off? Diane retorts. You don't like me coming here? We're going to get married, so we need to see each other often. Diane holds up a dress. Aren't you curious about what I bought when I went shopping with Chrisya? She asks. This is a summer dress. It's so light and soft, she exclaims, twirling the dress. Did you know that Chrisya was the one who suggested me to buy this? She suggested that we get twin outfits. There were a lot of summer dresses at the store, but she and I both liked this one. And I was about to suggest her to buy two, which I will pay for one of them. A picture shows Diane and Chrisya happily posing in matching dresses. She came up with a better idea for us to buy the same dress like close friends. It's a brilliant way to show how we value our friendship, Diane gushes. Lechapi deadpans. I can see how happy you are. Oh, that's right. Diane suddenly remembers. What are you looking for? Lechapi asks. Something I want to give to you, Diane replies. Lechapi is surprised as Diane rummages through the gifts. What do you mean by that? You gave me 2 presents already. No. This is not a birthday present. This is something else, Diane says. She finds a wooden box. Oh, here it is. Lechapi looks at the box with a confused expression. Here, open it, Diane urges. Lechapi asks. What is this? Diane says. Just open it. Since Chrisya had an idea for us to buy twin items, I thought we should have one as well. We're a couple now, right? Lechapi is shocked. A couple's item. Lechapi blushes. I will open it later. I must go back to work. Diane protests. No, you must open it now. That way we'll know if it actually works, Lechapi asks. What do you mean by works? Diane pushes the box forward. Just open it. You'll know, she insists. Lechapi opens the box to reveal a necklace with a large blue pendant. This is, he says. Diane points to her own necklace, which has an identical pendant. Yes. I'm already wearing the other one. Now it's your turn to wear it, Diane said. After that, fill the pendant with your magic power, she instructs. As Lechapi focuses his magic, the pendant begins to glow. Wait, this sounds like, he says. Diane leans in close. Can you hear it? It's my heartbeat. She explains she bought them while shopping with Chrisya, saying the pendants will let them hear each other's heartbeats if they infuse them with magic. He asked. You bought this for me so that I can hear your heartbeats? Diane gets flustered. Huh? You don't like it? Lechapi said. No, that's not it, she said. Don't worry, it's just an ordinary necklace if you don't put your magic power into it. Diane perks up. As a couple, I think it's a good idea to wear paired accessories like this. It'll make us more believable. Therefore, please wear it every day. Lechapi agrees, okay, and Diane's thrilled. Great, he agreed. She thinks to herself, I should also buy something to wear together with Flyan after this, she then said. Oh, I heard Flyan won't come to the annual dance of the Alps Odyssey, he said. I heard as well. She expected her fiancé to come, but since it's still flooding in Albion, Lechapi adds. She's afraid Prince Leos wouldn't be able to make it in time to the event. Diane pouts. My parents and my sister cannot participate as well. How sad, Lechapi asks. Is it because of the accident at the crystal mine? Diane confirms. Yes, Lechapi comments. I heard it's pretty bad. Diane confirms. It is. My brother-in-law went to check again last night. It's still under repair. She's relieved. Thank God I refused to take charge of one of the mines when Starrett offered. Otherwise, I will be busy taking care of the mess right now, Lechapi thinks. That's right. Diane's family owns 3 out of 4 crystal mines in this country. Their family plays a significant role in our social defense system by providing magic crystals, he then asks. But wouldn't it be easier to help Miss Saldo if you owned one of them? Diane's like, are you testing me now? Diane's getting fired up now. How am I supposed to connect the business of magic crystals with bookshops? They don't match, you know. Pointing at Lechapi, she continues. I may need to build a business, but it doesn't mean just any business will do. He stares at her first. Then Lechapi smiles. Ha! You got me. Diane huffs and turns to leave. I'd better go home. Lechapi rises from his chair. Wait, are you mad? He stops her at the door. Your carriage hasn't arrived, Diane. She turns back, surprised, and she stares intently. What is it? Why are you looking at me like that? He asks, a bit flustered. She leans closer. Nothing. I just thought your eye color is different when you're wearing glasses. He's confused. Really? How come? It's transparent. He takes off his glasses, leaning in closer now, and asks, How about now? Diane's heart starts pounding. Suddenly, a knock at the door. Good afternoon, Miss Harp. Your carriage has arrived. Miss Harp, we will carry your belongings, Diane said. It's time to go home. See you next time, Lechapi. Please help me with my belongings, Sebastian. As she leaves, she thinks. That necklace, maybe I shouldn't have given it to him. She blushes, clutching her chest. Hopefully he won't try listening to the sound of my heartbeats right now. This is embarrassing. The day of the dance arrives. Today is the day that the dance of the Alps Eurydice starts, and it takes place at Palace Praesus. People are excited to join this event. Carriages of the participants are lined up, waiting to drop off the participants in front of the gate. Some of them are not patient enough to wait, so they choose to walk instead. Diane arrives and waves, and someone calls out. Diane! She turns to see Lechapi. Good afternoon, Lechapi, you came early today, he greets her. Hi, Diane. Diane smiles. Look at me. I've prepared myself well. I picked this nice light dress just solely for today, Lechapi replies. Yeah. Then she asks. Oh, by the way, you came here with Chrisya, didn't you? Where is she? He looks around, adding. She's a little bit behind me, I suppose, Diane interrupts. And you're wearing our lucky charm, right? Lechapi pulls out the necklace. You mean this thing? Diane said. Of course, I'm wearing it too, look. Why did you hide it under your shirt? He looks around nervously. There are a lot of people here. What if they gossip about us when they notice it? Diane, annoyed, thinks. That is exactly what I want, you fool. We cannot have people gossiping about my angel and Count Lyad getting married. Chrisya suddenly appears, sparkling. Diane. Lechapi. Diane greets her. Are you one of the participants today? Chrisya asks Diane, who replies. I am. You will watch me play, right? Chrisya assures her. Of course. Count Lyad coughs awkwardly. Diane then bows to Count Lyad. Pardon me, Count Lyad. I didn't notice you were here as well. Count Lyad smiles. No worries, Diane. Seeing you with your sword reminds me of Count Salamat when she was your age. Diane thinks. Oh, he referred to my sister by her title, not her name. Then the Count noticed something. He continues. Well, since this brave miss has brought her sword, I think we should watch her play. Chrisya agrees. I couldn't agree more, Count Lyad. And since I don't have any acquaintance here, I don't have many things to do. Then asks. But don't you have a tight schedule today? Count Lyad responds. Even though there are some of my business partners here, I don't think this is a suitable place to do business or talk about politics. Besides, seeing Diane participate in the tournament is more important. They hold this tournament to show the beauty of sword fights. Chrisya thanks Count Lyad. Diane asks her. This is your first time at attending this kind of event, right? Chrisya chimes in. Right. That's why I feel a little bit worried to hear you are participating. You're going to use a real sword, aren't you? Diane laughs. Ha, worry not, Chrisya. For people like me, who participate just for fun, we're not going to get hurt. Come. I'll show you how beautiful Prasia is. Diane stares at Count, thinking. It will be a good idea to keep Chrisya away from Count Lyad. It's not like I'm kidnapping her. Then Chrisya asks. Do you want to bring Lechapi with us? Chrisya notices. You keep staring at him. Diane thinks. That's right. Chrisya thinks Lechapi and I are a couple. She has no idea we're only pretending, Chrisya tells. Well, unfortunately, he's busy with his father and their business partners. So, let's look around this place while looking for an opponent to fight, Diane thinks. As we walked, I found my opponents and fought. Even though I said I don't really care about winning this preliminary, I actually hoped a little to win the preliminary, but it ended rather disappointingly, her opponent says. Haha, I win. Now give me your last handkerchief, Diane gasps. She drops her handkerchief in defeat. Because I lost, Diane internally cries. This is embarrassing. Chrisya must be disappointed seeing me lose. And what was even more disappointing was, Diane looks around. Huh, she's shocked. Wait, where is she? Chrisya wasn't there when she finished the game. Diane is frantically searching through the crowd. Excuse me, did you see the beautiful lady who was sitting here? She asks, but gets nowhere. Panic sets in. Damn, no one seems to know where she is. All these fancy nobles milling about, and not a single one has seen Chrisya. Among all these people, no one looks like Chrisya. Diane's starting to freak. Suddenly, she halts, a horrified expression on her face. Don't tell me she got lost while following my match! And then, disaster strikes. Diane trips, sending herself flying through the air. She lands with a thud right at the feet of Impel Lechapi's cousin. Ouch! I am sorry. She stutters, bowing. Impel looks down, surprised. Oh my, why are you in such a hurry? Where are you going? Impel! You're here? Diane exclaims. She thinks, this man loves to cross-dress. He has married Princess Circle, who has become a duchess and moved to Shekaran. He comes back there twice a year. She holds his hand saying, thank you. When did you arrive? Are you one of the participants for today as well? He said this morning. As you can see, I'm aiming for victory. Diane can't help but think. He must be wearing that gown to get honorable winner title. Sometimes I don't think he is human. He may be an incarnation of a dragon. Impel, you are still human, right? Diane asks, a little worried. Impel throws his arms around Diane, declaring, I'm just a lucky man loved by the Duchess and called father by two little angels of mine. Diane asked, oh, that's right. Where are the Duchess and your children now? Are they also here? He replied, my children and wife are now seeing your highness. But look at this beautiful braid. My children did this for me. And this pink ribbon is a lucky charm they gave me to win this tournament. Diane thinks to herself, I should not have asked. This man can't stop talking when it comes to his family. He continues, this dress is also their choice. They said if I want to win, I should wear something that makes me uncomfortable, while swinging my sword just like Alpsiudice. I wonder how they knew about the history of this tournament. They must have picked their mom's brain. Anyways, everything from my head to toe is their work of art. Impel boasts. Then Impel notices Diane's sword. Looks like you are participating too. You do look like Count Polymath with that sword on your waist. It takes me back to the time when I used to do fencing with her. What good old days, Diane said. Come to our place? Starrett will be so happy to see you. Impel smiles. Ho ho. I'm just an ordinary husband who loves to play. Not like your sister. Count Polymath is someone I can proudly boast myself of being her last opponent at the dance of Alpsiudice to my children. Ahaha, really? Diane says, thinking that. He thinks highly of Starrett. Impel gushes. Yes, of course. It's rare to find someone like Count Polymath in our Imperium. If she were not the successor of Harp's family, Imperial Knights would have recruited her to join them in the military, and I would not be as I am today. My wife could have ended up with someone else too. I'd be crying for days and nights if that happened. Just then, Lechapi arrives. Oh, Lechapi? Is that you? Impel says. Impel? Huh! I didn't know you were coming, Lechapi replies. Impel shows off a handful of hankies. Look, I've collected many handkerchiefs already, Diane realizes. What? So it's not part of his gown? They are all handkerchiefs? No wonder people called him Lord Lozial. Impel's title when he was the head of Imperial Knights. But then, disaster. Oh shoot! I got distracted, Diane exclaims. She whispers to Lechapi. Hey Lechapi. This is bad. Chrisya is missing. Lechapi replies. No, she's not. I met her while heading here, Diane asks. What? She's with my father, Lechapi says. Diane's eyes widen. She's with Count Lyot? Oh my god! Impel leans in. Hey, you little boy and little missy, what are you whispering about? Why are you ignoring me? Lechapi retorts. What do you mean, little boy? I'm already 21 years old. You know. Impel laughs. Ahahaha, easy, Lechapi. I know. And I'm sorry I didn't come to your birthday party. But you got my present, haven't you? Lechapi replies. I have. I'll use it for a good deed. Thanks. I believe you will. You are a wizard. You are the only one in our family who can use magic, Impel says. Then, he turns to Diane. Oh, right, Diane, where's your handkerchief? Have you lost all of them? Do you want to fight me? I can give you mine if you win. Diane thinks. This is a great opportunity to get a handkerchief. I can give it to Chrisya even though I wanted to give one of mine to her, but Lechapi interjects. Sorry, Impel. Diane is busy now, Impel says. Dear Lord Lechapi, this is a sacred fight in front of the great Alps Eurydice, Lechapi whispers to Diane. Actually, I also met some of my father's acquaintances. They might know where they have headed. Impel is not happy. My God, no one is paying attention to me. If only my wife were here, I bet she would comfort me now, Lechapi says. My apologies, Impel. Let's talk again another time, he gasped, thinking, aha. So that's what happened, ahaha. I was kidding. I completely understand. I look forward to hearing good news soon, Impel says. Diane and Lechapi are confused. What is he talking about? I don't know, they say. Impel waves goodbye. Then, see you later, everyone. As they walk away, Diane asked, well, now tell me, how did you meet Chrisya? Lechapi replied. She said she was lost, and then she saw us. What happened exactly? Diane sighs. Seemed like she was carried away by the crowd while I was fighting. There's a lot of people here. I was captured by a strange person, so I didn't get the time to keep an eye on her. I've lost all of my handkerchiefs. I was about to give one to Chrisya, Lechapi reassures her. Don't worry, they must have not gone far. Just then, a man approaches. Young Count Lyad? He asks. Yes. Lechapi replies. The man says. Thank God. It's really you. Your father asked me to find you and tell you that he's waiting for you in the third living room with his companions. He wants you to see him there. Diane blushed, asking. Is he with a woman who looks like an angel? The man confirms. You mean the woman with the beautiful golden locks, right? Yes, she's with him. Oh, crap! Diane thinks, realizing something. Excuse me, sir. And thank you, by the way, Diane says, then takes off running. I have to find them before it's too late. Diane, wait! Lechapi calls after her. They dash through the crowd, apologizing as they go. Lechapi is struggling to keep up. Diane, wait! He shouts. But Diane is determined. No, 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 don't tell me you. Diane jumps over a gate and rips her gown. Damn! She mutters, sitting down. Are you out of your mind? Lechapi exclaims, landing clumsily beside her. We don't have much time, Lechapi. What if they tell everyone that they will get married soon? Diane panics. Lechapi looks at her torn gown. Well, you're right, but your gown. Diane gestures to the tear. You mean this? Lechapi sighs and takes off his jacket. Here, cover it. Thanks. Now, let's go, Diane replies. And so, they're off again, running as fast as they can. Diane, slow down, Lechapi pleads, but Diane's not stopping for anything. Diane and Lechapi are in a mad dash, rushing down the hall. They need to hurry before Count Lyad introduces Chrisya as his fiancée to all his colleagues. Lechapi calls out, clearly stressed. Diane slams the door open, startling everyone inside. Silence falls over the room. Diane gulps, realizing she's made a major entrance. Oops! Lechapi covers his face, mortified. Oh God! Whispers ripple through the crowd. Oh! It's Diane and Lechapi! Diane feels the stares. Is it because I suddenly barged in? Chrisya rushes over, grabbing Diane's hands. Diane! Did you get hurt? Diane is confused. Huh? No, I didn't. What do you mean? Oh, right. My skirt. Count, looking surprised, asks. Lechapi, what is it? What's wrong? He frowns at Diane, who gulps nervously. They both bow apologetically to Count Lyad. We are sorry for causing trouble, Father. We were in such a hurry to find a changing room for Diane that we didn't notice the flag in front of this room. Count Lyad smiles. Haha, don't worry. Ripped dress is very common in this tournament. That's true, young man. You don't have to worry, someone says, then reminisces. When I was young, my dress was also ruined. Then the palace maid helped me. Chrisya examines Diane's skirt. Let me see. She stares intensely, making Diane uncomfortable. Chrisya speaks to Count Lyad. Count Lyad, it's ruined pretty badly. She needs to change immediately. Let me accompany her. She must be anxious to go alone. That's very kind of you, Miss Saldo, Count Lyad replies. Although it feels unfortunate to see you go since you were just getting to know everyone. This is urgent, so please do so, someone adds. How unfortunate. We have to let you go, Miss Saldo. We just started talking about your bookshop. Count chimes in. Pardon us, sir. Maybe we can continue the talk later. I deeply apologize, sir. This is an urgent matter. Diane is relieved. Phew, thank God. She thinks. Wait, they only talked about business. That means he did not introduce her as his fiancée. She smiles brightly. Thank you for your understanding, Count Lyot, Chrisya says. Come with me, Diane. Diane replies. Ha! Chrisya whispers in Diane's ear. Don't worry, you won't be apart for long from Lechapi, Chrisya said to Lechapi. Please wait for us, he replies. All right. Thank you, Miss Saldo. Chrisya leads Diane to a changing room. Is this enough? Do you also need shoes? A maid asks. No, we don't need shoes. Thank you, Chrisya says with a smile. The maid bows and takes her leave. It's a relief that the palace had spare clothes to provide us, Diane, Chrisya remarks while tapping on the changing room door. Do you still wish to continue the game? Diane says. I did, but it's hard to find someone who came just for fun. She adjusts her new dress. The potential winners have started to appear, so people will focus more on fighting or just watching others play. That's why I think I'd better stay here and relax. Great choice. Please join Count Lyot and me. Then you've done your best, Diane, Chrisya says excitedly. Diane beams. Ahaha. All right, she thinks to herself. Now what should I do there? Can't we just go home and leave this place? Suddenly, Lechapi appears. Chrisya gasps. Lechapi? Why are your hair and clothes? Did something happen? Lechapi greets them. Greetings, Miss Saldo. Is Diane there? Has she finished changing her clothes? Diane peeks outside, then asks. Huh! Lechapi? She opens the door a bit more. What is it? Lechapi stutters. No, nothing. He tries to fix his wrinkled clothes. Chrisya holds out his jacket. Lechapi, this is your jacket, she says. I tried my best to straighten out the wrinkles, but the creases on the sleeves are still there. Lechapi takes the jacket. It's okay. Here, thank you, Chrisya says, handing over the jacket. Diane huffs. You should be grateful. Chrisya has put so much effort to tidy up your jacket. Lechapi is confused. What? Diane crosses her arms. Nothing. Chrisya changes the subject with a bright smile. Haha, by the way, do you know there's a beautiful garden behind this palace? Diane is surprised. Garden? Chrisya continues. Yes, I thought you might want to take a walk there. Lechapi is confused. Huh! Diane replies. I heard about the garden, but I have never been there. Chrisya smiles knowingly. They say it's quite private. You can spend time together there without worrying what other people are going to think, she adds. I noticed that you had very little time together today, Diane thinks. That's right. We're still pretending to be a couple. Chrisya is being very considerate, he then says. I'm afraid we have to decline your suggestion, Miss Saldo. My father is waiting for us in the same room as before. Even though everyone there has gone to watch the tournament, he is still waiting for us there, so Chrisya insists. Then I will explain it to him. Don't worry, this time I won't get lost. Just go. Diane and Lechapi stare at each other. All right then. We'll go there. We'll be back as soon as possible, Lechapi says. Chrisya smiles. Just take your time. Diane bows politely, grabbing Lechapi's hand. Excuse us then, Lechapi stutters. But she pinches his arm. Ouch. Just move, she hisses. Chrisya waves goodbye. See you later. Enjoy your time. Diane drags Lechapi towards the garden. They arrive at the garden. It's a beautiful, sprawling landscape. Lechapi asks. Why did you say you'll go to the garden? Diane replies. I can't let her be suspicious of our relationship. Gosh, we need to be more believable. She links her arm with Lechapi's. How about this? Does it feel heavy? Lechapi replies. No. She then asks. So this is okay, right? Lechapi replied. Yeah. I think so. Diane leans closer to him. Then what about this? He is flustered. No. Don't do that. Petals fall as Lechapi and Diane stroll through the garden. Why did we leave Miss Saldo? Lechapi wonders. Aren't we supposed to make sure she's never alone with my father? Diane explains. Well, she did this for us. I don't want to upset her and make her sad by rejecting her suggestion. That's why. Let's take a walk a bit and then go back to them. Okay. He starts blushing and she noticed. But then Diane asks, Anyway, where have you been before this? You looked like you had been running or something. Lechapi stammers. I didn't. Oh no, she saw right through him. Don't lie. I saw you fixing your hair, Diane exclaims. Lechapi starts blushing while she stares at him. He pulls something from his pocket. Here, take this. Diane's eyes widen. This is a handkerchief from the tournament, right? You said you wanted one as a memento, right? Lechapi replies, sweating. Diane asks. That's true, but where did you get this? Is this Impel's? Lechapi glances away. No. I participated in the tournament just for a while. Wait, you participated in the tournament? Diane is shocked. We flash back to Lechapi holding a sword against an opponent. This is a huge deal because Lechapi hates swords. It's been that way ever since he was 3 years old, when his mother, a hunter, was attacked by someone holding a sword. After finishing his mandatory sword fighting lessons, he never picked one up again, until today. Diane is touched. He raised the sword again for the sake of giving me this handkerchief. She blushed and said, Thank you. You're welcome, Lechapi says with a smile. Diane grabs his arm. Oh, let's continue our walk. She quickly shoves the handkerchief into her pocket. Ugh. I'd better put this in my pocket. I don't want to lose it. Her heart is racing. He hates to ruin his outfit, yet he now doesn't seem to care about it, as if all that matters is getting a handkerchief for me. Wait, for me? She suddenly stops. Let's go back, he asked. Right now? Diane said. Yes, I think we have been walking quite a while. Wait, Lechapi says as they turn around. I think they will still be in the same room. I don't think the discussion about the bookstore would finish so quickly, Diane said. If so, let's follow the same path where we came from then. Diane's heart is pounding again. Damn! What's wrong with me? Why am I blushing? After reaching inside, suddenly, they hear someone call out, Diane! Diane turns to see her parents. Mother? Father? How did you manage to get here? Diane asks. Her mother replies, Starrett has taken over the issue at the mines. That's how we managed to come back early. Lechapi greets them. Nice to meet you again, Marquis Harp and Mr. Harp. His mother responds with a glare. It's been a while, Lechapi. Diane, Lechapi, you need to remember that you are now both adults. You have to be more discreet about how you behave in front of others. People can take you wrongly if they see you now. Diane gasps, seeing Chrisya and Count in mirror. Lechapi said. My apologies, Marquis. Lechapi, too, is startled by what he sees in the reflection. Wait. Chrisya? Diane realizes. They are not wrong, her mother asked. What do you mean, Diane? Diane blurts out. Lechapi and I are courting. What? Lechapi says, surprised. The room is in shock. Her father said, Oh my goodness. After that, Starrett and whole family sat in room silent. Butler said, Please enjoy your drink, sir, madam, all. If there's nothing else you need, I'll take my leave. Starrett sips her tea. Thank you. But then she shudders. Her mother notices. Starrett, if you can't calm yourself down, put your tea back on the table. She reluctantly complies. Yes, mother. Look, I've warned you before. Lechapi should not have been trusted. Even though they grew up together like siblings, they are not actually siblings. Rockin rises to his feet, outraged. His mother says to him, Cool your head down, Rockin, sit down. He sits back down, but is still clearly upset. Aside from Lechapi, let's not forget that Diane has entered the legal age to be married, let alone courting. Rockin protests. But mother, she is only 21 now, Marquis said. Well? Starrett also married when she was 21, Starrett replies. Well, it's true, but still, another woman observes. Rockin explains. Starrett and Diane are different. Diane is still young and naive, the other woman asks. Pardon me, but since when did they start courting? At her last birthday party, they acted like usual, like friends. I don't think we caught anything happening between them, Mr. Harp chimes in. She said it just started recently. They seemed hard to believe it themselves. This is their first time courting, so they kept it a secret from everyone. Rockin explodes. How could Lechapi dare to do that, having affections towards our sweet and little Diane? Mr. Harp tries to calm him down. Rockin, don't we all love Diane? We all want the best for her, Starrett asks. What about Count Lyad? Did he know about this? The mother replies, her expression hardening. That's the problem. He knew first. Before us, Starrett asked, but how? They didn't even know until now, her mother replied. Apparently, he discovered it just recently, and it was announced on Lechapi's birthday. The woman gasps, realizing she hasn't been to Wangdo much lately due to her busy schedule, so she hasn't noticed anything unusual in Diane's demeanor. She reflects. For a girl who's never been interested in romance between man and woman, could Diane's recent interest in business be due to Lechapi? But Marquis interjects. Regarding that, I'm unsure. Lechapi's business, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the distribution of the old books. I believe Count Lyad also has no such business. The discussion turns to Miss Saldo. It appears that Miss Saldo was the reason behind the old book distribution business idea. Miss Saldo? Marquis asks, surprised. Mr. Harp confirms. Diane's new friend, the beautiful lady who was with Count Lyad today, he continues. Perhaps Diane's interest was sparked by her friendship with Miss Saldo. Baron Saldo has a modest store that sells old antique books. Marquess wonders. What sort of a family are the Saldos? He explains. The Saldo family is one that solely possesses titles and no actual money. Half a century ago, their family was unable to overcome their financial issues. In the end, they had to let go of their land to Count Boutiles. They kept their title while relocating to another town close to Wango. Following that, Baron Saldo obtained a job as a government employee at the town hall. He then established his antique bookshop and earned a living in this manner. Starrett argues. But father, only a few noble families enjoy the pastime of collecting old books. Did they not find it challenging to conduct business with little wealth and merely a title? Her father responds. You're right, Starrett. Of course, they are facing a lot of problems. Only because of his popularity, he has been able to survive this long. Before selling his property, Baron Saldo was well known for running a company that provided aid to the poor. He didn't open the bookshop to make money for himself. He did it to help those who were less fortunate. Starrett acknowledges. What a generous family. Miss Saldo grew up in such a wonderful family. It makes sense why she treats Diane so nicely. Her father agrees. Which explains why Diane adores her and developed a fascination with antique books. But suddenly, Rockin gets angry. That is not the problem. Of course, we must be aware of the type of companion Diane has, but right now, we are talking about Lechapi. He slams his hand down on the table. Her wife whispers. Calm down, honey. But he shouts, I don't care. Diane must be rescued from Lechapi's nasty grasp. We need to make sure he won't be able to approach Diane in the future. He's furious. Father, Diane's future husband needs to be able to make her happy and not make her life miserable, he shouts. Diane wouldn't be able to do anything she wanted in the family of Count Lyad, the father sighs. I'm well aware of that, he continues. I gave her profiles of one of the suitors I had chosen every morning, but she never seemed interested. So I didn't believe she had any desire in marriage just yet. But Rockin interrupts. But father, his father said, I had chosen people from all around this continent that I believed were the best. I thought the little daughter that I used to watch while learning to walk will always be the youngest daughter of the Harp family. He said. I'm at a loss for words. Starrett remains silent. And Rockin's wife also don't have any words. Rockin declares. This is why I said that Diane living with me would be better. He slams his fist down. I can make a beautiful paradise for Diane. The father is clearly tired of this. The mother says firmly. Rockin. Sit down. Rockin crosses his arms, annoyed. Fine, now what? His mother says. Behave yourself, he protests. But mother, she explains. They are still young. Furthermore, it's rare for first-time dating partners to get married. Rockin sighs. Mother, the mother finishes the conversation. For now, let's just wait and see. Later that night, Diane is brushing her hair. Today was quite exhausting, although it had nothing to do with the tournament. This is all because I had to pretend in front of Chrisya, and because of Lechapi. Why did it take him so long to grasp the situation? She puts down the brush, and notice the handkerchief. She throws herself onto her bed. Whoa, I wonder how he feels right now since he hasn't held a sword for a while. She thinks about Lechapi. Lechapi stopped using his sword because the memory of his deceased mother was too painful. He must have been devastated since it reminded him of his mother's passing. Yet he did this for me. She imaged him fighting. Then she recalls his face when he gave it to her. Diane is blushing, thinking about it. She tosses and turns in her bed, squealing. Well, it's over after all. And I'm glad to be home now. This bed is so comfy. And with that, Diane drifts off to sleep. Several days have passed. We see a grand estate, and it looks like someone's been up to no good. Diane is chasing Cory while thinking. I got tricked. Diane is panting. Wait for me, Cory! She reflects that it's been nearly 10 days since she's been trapped with Cory. They intentionally left Cory with her so she couldn't go out. Cory, meanwhile, celebrates his victory. I win, Diane sighs thinking. And this all happened because they found out my relationship with Lechapi, Cory said. Haha, you lost, Auntie. And then, ouch. He stepped on a toy. Corey accidentally steps on and breaks a toy rocking horse. Oh no! It's split apart, he says. Diane asks. What's the matter, Corey? He holds up the broken toy, and she gasps. Oh no! Is it broken? Little Corey, with tears in his eyes, asks. Yes, it is. Can you fix this for me, Auntie? Diane, ever the pushover, says. Alright, let me try. She examines the toy, determined. Ugh, I believe I should simply insert this. And just like that, she fixes it. Yay! It worked! Corey is overjoyed. Hooray! Thank you, Auntie Diane! But Diane internally sighs. Oh no, I cannot go as I please if I keep staying, she realizes. Corey is so attached to me. She spots a small sword. Sword! It reminds me of the tournament. Memories flash of the Alpasudici tournament. The winner of this year's Alpasudici tournament was Impel, who participated this year after 9 years of absence, even though he had left his post as Royal Knight Commander for Yexasaya Rosial, or Impel. Winning Alpasudici tournament was not a difficult task, and we see Impel raising the trophy triumphantly. Diane laments. Although I did not see it firsthand since I was grounded. Corey interrupts her. Auntie, do you not like it when I play with you every day? Diane, startled, replies. Oh, of course not. He seems a bit hurt. It's alright, Auntie. I can play by myself. Diane feels guilty. Don't you feel bored just to play within the manor? Do you want to go outside and play? But in her head, she's screaming. I am already 21 years old, and I am old enough to date someone. Of course, it may be a shock that the person I'm dating is Lechapi, but that doesn't mean they can lock me up in the house with Corey as my watcher. Corey turns to her. Auntie! She snaps back. Yes, Corey? He asks. Are you disappointed that Uncle Rockin went home without saying goodbye? Diane stutters. What did you say? She quickly recovers. And no, that's not it. Uncle Rockin is busy. It's understandable if he couldn't see me before going back to his home. But inwardly, she wonders. Is Corey thinking of how I feel since I'm left alone while others are busy? Corey asks. Yes, she asked, patting his head. Will you be upset if Auntie ever gets married? Diane, flustered, waves her hands. Huh? You want to get married? She replied. No. No. Just no. If really, however, Corey, I will start a family someday just like your uncle did. Corey considers this. Getting married is a good thing, isn't it? Diane smiles brightly. Of course, Corey. Corey's face lights up. Then I'm happy for you. According to Mom, we should sincerely congratulate people when they find happiness. Diane is taken aback. His response does not seem to be that of an 8-year-old. She remembers how she cried when Starrett got married. Corey adds. But I'll be very unhappy if you move somewhere else, like Uncle Rockin. Touched, Diane says. Oh, Corey. Let me hug you. After being grounded for a week, today is the day Diane can finally go out to get to for 20 minutes. Given that her home is in Wangdo, she explains that only a small number of noble families reside in large mansions at Wangdo, and one of them is Flyan's family, the Shiran family. It continues that Wangdo was directly under the Emperor's control, and anyone intending to live there had to obtain the Emperor's permission. Also, Wangdo has a limited amount of land and high taxes. One of the few noble families that may survive for a very long time in this place is Flyan's family. While Count Lyad is descended from the Shingalum family, one of the royal founding families, the family of Count Shiran is a family that periodically produces both empresses and bureaucrats. So technically, Prince Laos and Flyan could be considered distant cousins. However, they are related so distantly that they're practically not related. But because of that, they have been a couple ever since they were kids and recently got engaged. Diane suddenly realizes. Wait a second. Whoa, I didn't notice we had entered Wangdo. We shall reach Count Shiran's home if we continue down this way. The carriage arrives at the grand estate. And, here we are, Diane thinks. Truthfully, Prince Laos and I get along just fine, but I still have to keep up my image, the driver announces. Excuse me, Miss Diane. Young Master Lyad is standing in front of the entrance gate. Diane is surprised. Really? She peeks out to see Lechapi. He waves towards her. He's looking sparkly and radiant. Diane's heart does a badump as she squeals internally. Lechapi greets her with a smile. Hi, Diane. The carriage arrives, and the driver greets Lechapi. Greetings, young Count Lyad. Please be careful, Miss Diane, he says. Thank you for your service. Diane, her face lighting up, practically jumps out, yelling. Lechapi, waiting right there, offers a hand. Why are you standing here? 10 days have passed since our last encounter. He smiles sweetly as he tells Diane. I'm here to pick you up. Diane's heart does a little dump at that. She thinks, but this isn't your house. You shouldn't be the one doing that, though. Diane tells the driver. You may enter the mansion first. Lechapi and I shall enter at a later time. Looks like she's got a plan. As they stroll through the garden, Lechapi remarks. It seems like you're doing all right? I anticipated that you would find staying at home boring. Diane pouts, saying, Well, I'm not doing well, actually. I was really eager to leave. Lechapi laughs. Then a gust of wind almost blows Diane away. He puts a hand to his forehead. Yuck. What's wrong with the weather? Diane blushes. Lechapi's shirt is unbuttoned. Perhaps because it is hot here. She's totally distracted. He was waiting for me in the garden, but there is no shade in this area. Seeing his white patterned shirt reminds me of the handkerchief he gave me. Sadly, I didn't bring it with me now. Lechapi asks. So, how do you feel now that you can finally leave the house after a long wait? Poor Diane, still lost in her thoughts, replies. Huh. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What did you say? Lechapi brushes his hair back. I asked how do you feel now that you can finally leave the house after a long wait? Diane perks up, stretching her arms wide. Nah. I feel fantastic, she exclaims. Lechapi just smiles and says, Oh, please, how is Chrisya doing? We are writing letters to each other, but Diane asks. She seems to solely write positive things, so I wouldn't be concerned. He then drops a bomb. Miss Saldo brought all of her possessions to my place yesterday. Diane's eyes widen in shock. What? Lechapi explains. Miss Saldo intended to reside in my home from the beginning. My father invited her in, he adds. He admires her strong desire to learn and her dedication for it. So now she's staying in our guest room on the second floor. Every 3 or 4 days, he asks Miss Saldo to join him in his office so they can talk. Diane is fuming. Unbelievable. They're getting closer. She thinks that Chrisya's presence at Lechapi's home makes him a bit uncomfortable. Let me cheer him up a little bit, she decides, sneaking up behind him. Lechapi jumps, startled. Diane! Diane starts tickling him relentlessly. Diane, please stop. Why are you tickling me? He cries, laughing. She asks. Honestly, why did you hang out in front of the garden? He coughs, trying to regain his composure. Well, I just wanted to have some time to talk to you as we make our way to the main door. It's difficult to talk about Miss Saldo when everybody is around. Diane asks. Did you really hang out just for that reason? Lechapi insists. I'm telling you, it's true. They arrive at the door, where a maid greets them. Welcome, young Count Lyad, Miss Diane. Everyone has been expecting you. Lechapi simply says. Thank you. And there they are, meeting the happy couple. Diane's face lights up as she shouts. F-L-I-N! She throws her arms wide for a hug. But Lechapi nudges her. SSSHHH. Behave yourself, Diane, he whispers. Lechapi bows to the Duke. Greetings, Duke Aldian. How have you been? The Duke replies. I live in a pleasant place. How can I not feel great? I see you're doing well too, Diane. I'm glad. Diane bows. I also live near the peaceful Wangdo. How can it be possible to have a problem? Lechapi continues. I'm glad you look content, Duke. I was worried because I heard that the flood in Aldian was bad enough. The Duke said, What can human do in the grasp of nature's wrath? Young Count Lyad. Assistance from Blue Shell Island, this time was very helpful. Lechapi chimes in. Our company simply carried the goods. The Duke waves his hand dismissively. Please, do not be overly formal. Aren't we still close buddies from our youth? Diane, seizing the opportunity, asks. If so, may I address you as Prince Leos as I have in the past? Lechapi is taken aback. Diane! The Duke smiles warmly. Yes, please. I will be very happy if you both address me that way. Flyan giggles. How long will we continue to converse in this manner as we stand here? Let's enter the chamber now. The prince is interested in learning many things. Am I right? Diane and Lechapi exchange nervous glances, wondering what that means. Later, inside, tea and cakes are served. Excuse me, a servant says, knocking on the door. Please come in, Flyan replies. The servant enters, bowing. Your tea, ladies, gentlemen. He places the cups on the table. Thank you, Lechapi says politely. Flyan waves her hand. Please, enjoy your tea, everyone. The Duke clears his throat. To begin with, I was shocked to learn that you two are now together. Flyan giggles nervously. Lechapi wipes his mouth, looking uncomfortable. The Duke continues. But you guys are childhood friends, different from me and Flyan. Flyan pouts. I've just learned it on Lechapi's birthday. I did think it was strange that they would keep meeting without me. I was so sad. Diane is furious. Damn. What did you tell him, Flyan? She said. What do you mean by left out? You couldn't come because you had a study session with a teacher sent from Palace, right? Flyan giggles again. Diane thinks to herself. Prince Leos is unaware that Lechapi and I are pretending to be dating. It would be best not to tell him. Not that we don't believe in him. It's just that he's a rigid, unyielding man, the Duke asks. Do Marquess Harp and Count Lyad know about it? Lechapi confirms. Yes, they do, the Duke says. Count Polymat and Count Kulpos definitely will interrogate you about that, Lechapi, Diane said. No, Sister Starrett said that she will believe in me if that's what I want. The Duke is surprised. Did Count Polymat really say that? That's impossible. Flyan, growing impatient, cries out. My goodness, Duke, can we stop talking about them and change the topic? She said. We should let them know about some great news that we have, right? Diane thinks. Only Flyan could interrupt Prince Leos when he is still speaking, the Duke says. That's right, Flyan. You had been looking forward to this time. I'm sorry I didn't consider your feelings, Diane muses. Even though they are getting married for political reasons, they still harbor feelings for each other, the Duke then announces. Flyan and I shall exchange vows in the winter of next year, Diane gasps, completely shocked. They're getting married next winter? The Duke, announcing. Flyan and I shall exchange vows in the winter of next year, Diane gasped hearing this news. Wait, are you serious? Lechapi asks as he gasps too. Flyan's practically glowing as she squeals. Yes, Diane grabs Flyan's hands, her eyes wide. Goodness me, how come you didn't tell me earlier? Flyan giggles. Actually, I wanted to tell you first, but Lechapi's birthday fell on that day. Diane's taken aback. Eh? Then she remembers. We were working on a scheme to stop Chrisya from getting married to Count Lyad on that day. She's got a point, the Duke explains. We have been talking about this for a few months now, and this time I went to Wangdo to discuss it with Count Chiran, after which we agreed on a date. Flyan continues. The wedding will take place at Wangdo. Duke had sought His Highness for permission yesterday. Flyan is over the moon, but Diane's expression turns somber. Wait, what's this strange feeling I get when I look at Flyan's face? Oh no, she's getting emotional. My heart aches. It feels like I will lose something and never get it back. Diane's hands are shaking and tears start to fall. Oh no, this is bad. Diane breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably. Huh? Why are you crying, Diane? Lechapi asks, bewildered. Flyan asks Diane, what's wrong? Diane wipes at her eyes, her voice thick with tears. Flyan has become an adult, Lechapi asks. And you too, aren't you? Flyan tries to comfort her friend, wiping away her tears. Diane, please stop. But then, Flyan starts to cry too. And just like that, both girls are bawling, clinging to each other in a mess of tears. Lechapi sighs, shaking his head. It seems like it will take some time, so we better wait outside. He rises from the table. The Duke agrees. Yes, outside, the day is bright and cheerful, completely contrasting the emotional turmoil inside. Yeah, because inside, it's still a cry fest. Flyan sobs. Quit sobbing already, you child. Diane wipes her eyes. You cried too, didn't you? Flyan sniffles, wiping her own face. I didn't cry as loud as you did. Diane collapses onto the bed. I feel exhausted. Flyan nods in agreement, flopping down beside her. Yes, me too. Flyan sighs. You sobbed so much just now. How will you manage it on the day of my wedding? You may need to be carried out, Diane declares. Then I'll cry as much as I can the day before in order to shower you with flowers on your wedding day. I have experience with showering flowers. I showered flowers on my older siblings on their wedding day, Diane says softly. I wish we can be like this forever, Flyan asks. Like this? Just lying down on bed forever? Diane perks up. Yes. Then it's okay to stay like this forever as Diane and Flyan, Flyan teases. Geez, 10 years ago when we were here as kids, you were busy picturing your life as a grown-up and what you were going to wear at my wedding, she adds. As well as the decoration you envisioned for the reception hall. Flyan crosses her arms. But why are you acting this way now? Diane pouts. You must find it amusing that I'm crying, right? Flyan grins mischievously. Yes, Diane scrams. You're so mean! And she launches a tickle attack. Take this. Flyan retaliates with her own tickles. You are the one taking this. Their laughter fills the room until a maid bursts in, slamming the door open. My ladies, what happened? Are you The maid is aghast at the scene. Ladies, you are not 10-year-olds. What happened to both of you? Back outside, Lechapi wonders. What's taking them so long? The Duke just stands silently by the window. Meanwhile, Diane and Flyan finally emerge, descending the stairs. Flyan grins. Lechapi, she points a finger at him. You will have to sit next to Diane on my wedding day. You will have to carry her out if she sobs uncontrollably. Diane giggles. Flyan! She keeps teasing me. Lechapi looks taken aback. The Duke asked. Isn't it Count Rockin's responsibility to carry Diane? Diane sighs, looking dejected. Flyan laughs, rubbing her stomach. Ahaha! I am hungry from laughing, she calls out. Josephine, bring us some food, please. The maid bows. Understood, Miss Flyan. Josephine returns with a feast. Ta-da! Diane exclaims. Whoa, I think it would be fun if we eat in the garden. Diane suggests. Flyan claps her hands. Good idea! Why did I not consider that? Next time, let's dine in the garden. The Duke speaks up, changing the subject. By the way, Lechapi, did Blue Shell Island also use the services of the recently sunk Harangro ship? Lechapi nods, picking up an apple. Yes, Prince. We did use it, but we didn't ship a lot of things. He explains. Just a few of our finest ceramic items, which we were supposed to present to the Emperor. The Duke gasps. To give to the Emperor. Count Mayad must be incredibly worried, Lechapi says. We had no control over the natural disaster. We were grateful for your Highness's understanding and kindness. The Duke strokes his chin thoughtfully. Then that suggests that I can be truthful and open with you. He leans forward, his expression serious. I've heard that the group in charge of managing Harangro allegedly got in touch with the Mer people. Diane is shocked. Mer people? The Duke gets confused by her reaction. She continues. The thing I purchased was on board the ship as well. Lechapi's birthday gift, the Duke explains. I see. I discovered yesterday at the palace that the said company is collaborating with Mer people to recover the ship's goods, he adds. In fact, it was the Mer people who first contacted the company. Diane and Lechapi gasps. The Mer people made contact with them first? Mermaids hardly ever leave their local waters, don't they? Diane gasps. Lechapi said, mermaids are a rare sight for sailors, yet they're the ones who reached out. The Duke said, it seems they're trying to strike a deal to save a ship, but the specifics are unclear. Lechapi, I believe the business will get in touch with you because you're a wizard. Lechapi then asks, but what about the kingdom's own wizard? The Duke said. When operating a ship, the Empire must contact other races. But this is different. Since there aren't any direct damages done to the kingdom won't step in. So it's a loss for Blue Shell Island, Diane realizes. Lechapi bows, promising to talk to the Count and find a solution. Later, as their carriage clip-clops along, Lechapi wonders if Baron Saldo will have insight, and if the mermaid can assist in recovering the drowned objects. Diane asked, but is that enough to cancel the marriage? They both nods at each other. Lechapi turns to her, asking how her business plans are going. Diane's eyes sparkle as she explains her strategy. Approach private collectors for small deals, then when the news starts to spread by word of mouth, I will then register the business certificate at the town hall. Lechapi frowns, wondering if she should focus on Saldo's problem first. But Diane is ready to be a mediator. Establishing a stable relationship for the old book transaction would be difficult. She's willing to mediate, even if it means re-registering her business later for a better certificate. Lechapi, wiping his glasses with a cloth, agrees. What Marquis Harp said is true. Diane leans in, sensing an opportunity. We still have time, and today we have some good news, right? Lechapi, putting on his glasses, smiles. You are correct. We need to make the most of this time. Diane beams. Lechapi, I need your help. Lechapi asks what he can do. Diane explains that her family has promised to take her to social parties for business, and she needs to network. The majority of the visitors would be older than us. To establish a business, we must network with many people. Who said that exactly? Lechapi asks. Sister Starrett. Diane replies, and asks Lechapi to invite her to any parties that aren't too complicated. Lechapi waves his hand dismissively. But you won't find it fascinating. Diane pouts, arms crossed. It doesn't matter whether it's fascinating or not. That's not why I'm trying to go. Lechapi sighs, revealing the best prospect. A gathering of the local handcraft community at the Cordon Garden Tea House next week. Handcraft? Diane questions. Lechapi assures her that, As she stated earlier, there will be various kinds of people at this meeting. People with a reputable profession and steady income will have time for their hobbies. How could they find time for that if that weren't the case? Even your mother rides horses every 10 days. Diane nods. That's correct. He continues. Yoker, the event's host, enjoys collecting cotton fabric. People that attend the meeting have a variety of interests, but they are all related to crafts. Lechapi adds. A small number of the members, like Yoker, work in the textile industry, while Denomina runs a paper company, and Gavinetti owns the largest flower market in the capital city. Diane is surprised. How did you find out all of that? Do you know them all? Lechapi smiles. I don't. I just did a little research. Lechapi continues. I just go there because I want to talk to someone about my business, not because I'm interested in handcrafts. Diane realizes that Starrett must be researching the attendees before the conference to learn more about them. Diane hums. That's likely. I also need to assemble some people. Lechapi smiles. Then I will send people to help you. Diane is overjoyed. Really? Thank you, Lechapi. A few days later, at the manor, a letter arrives. Diane reads. Dear Miss Diane Harp, we are members of the Paleo group. We are investigating the sinking of the Harangros ship. Since then we have been able to enlist the aid of mermaids. It's a little difficult to explain the situation in detail the letter invites Diane and other acquaintances to a meeting, hoping the outcome will satisfy both sides. Diane, holding the letter, wonders how the Paleo group knew to address the letter to her. I used Asia's name when I used their service to keep Lechapi from finding out, Starrett said. Maybe Lechapi told them. You said he knew your package was on that ship, didn't you? She gasps. Lechapi? Starrett nods to her. Then she said to Diane. I heard that the mermaid wanted to help Paleo with this problem, but only wizards can speak to mermaids. Paleo must have asked for help from Lechapi, she continues. Being a small business, Paleo must be unable to employ a wizard full-time. They must have hired a wizard just temporarily when the mermaids first approached them. Her sister pats her head, adding, the normal employees will then travel to Wangdo with the mermaid. In my opinion, Paleo must have asked for help from Lechapi this time. Blue Shell Island will be able to sign more contracts with them in return for this favor. Diane wonders how the mermaid can travel to Wangdo without legs. Starrett explains that when a mermaid ascends to the surface, some of them acquire legs. However, magic is still required for communication. Diane wonders if they'll resemble humans, and if their gills will be visible. Starrett says they look like humans on the outside, but people say you can tell they are not human when you look at them. Diane realizes they can communicate with the mermaid if they are with Lechapi. Starrett asks, That's true. Do you want to communicate with the mermaid? Diane hesitates. Just a bit. Diane imagines herself waving to mermaids on a ship. If you could use magic, it must have been fun. We wouldn't have to enlist Lechapi's help, and we could have taken a vacation to the sea and meet the mermaids, right? But then with a sad face she said, But if you had magical ability it would have been risky. Undoubtedly, the palace would have called on you every day. We would have had less time together if that were to happen. Just the thought saddens me. Starrett flicks Diane's forehead. Your little mouth is good at saying sweet things, huh? Diane giggles, covering her mouth. Starrett said, How about I also visit the mermaids? I was informed that the Paleo group rented a motel room on Wyrome Street. Starrett says she'll send the maid there first thing tomorrow morning. Sister, are you equally interested in the mermaid? Diane asks. Starrett smiles. Certainly. I would like to watch Lechapi use magic as well. So, Lechapi got a statue of himself for his birthday, and he is not feeling it. He stares at the golden statue in utter disbelief. He kneels before the statue shocked. What? Lion bursts into laughter. Lechapi shouts, What is this? Diane is clearly in on the joke too. Flyan points towards it saying, It's your birthday present, she warns him. Don't you dare get rid of it. Lechapi, cornered, can only stammer. Yes, ma'am. Diane and Flyan giggled together at Lechapi. Diane said, Phew, oh my goodness, Flyan. A cute puppy approaches Diane, giving her leg a little slurp. Hi, puppy! She exclaims happily. Diane pets the dog. What is your name? She is so happy as she plays with the puppy. Ha! It tickles. Hey, don't climb up there. Ah, the maid panics. Hey, you! Don't make her skirt dirty. Diane reassures the maid. It's okay, the maid apologizes. I apologize. Even though it's not a cat, it loves to climb up like that. Chrisya appears, observing the scene. Young Count, he said, Miss Saldo? Chrisya asked sweetly. Am I perhaps bothering you? Lechapi bows slightly. Of course not. Do you need something, Miss Saldo? Chrisya asks. Is this your statue? Lechapi awkwardly says. Yes. He thinks to himself, Chrisya Saldo is undoubtedly someone who qualifies for the title of Angel, as Diane called her adoringly. I was initially worried that Miss Saldo might just be pretending to be good, but after getting to know her better for a month, I'm confident that she is genuinely a good person, and I can see why Diane would have been so drawn to her. Lechapi calls out to Chrisya. Miss Saldo. Chrisya responds. Yes, young Count. Lechapi clears his throat. I've heard that a problem nearly occurred in a back alley a while ago. Chrisya frowns slightly. I'm sorry to have made you worry. Lechapi waves his hand dismissively. Please, you do not need to speak so formally to me. Diane is still happily playing with the puppy. Chrisya smiles warmly. Diane clearly has received a lot of love from her family as she grew up. Lechapi looks at Chrisya, thinking, when I first saw Chrisya, I thought maybe she was being sarcastic, but when I look at her eyes, I could feel her sincerity for Diane. He said, yes, clearly she has received a lot of love from her family. Diane waves to Chrisya. Ahi! Chrisya! Chrisya. Time passes, and now it's a few days later. The scene changes to a grand hall. People are chatting, and Diane and Lechapi are present. She said, Sister Starrett is coming to see us today. Lechapi is shocked. Sister Starrett? Diane giggles. I forgot that Lechapi is scared of Sister Starrett. Diane said, if anyone sees you now, they think Sister Starrett wants to eat you alive. Lechapi complains. Ugh, it's suffocating. Diane continues to adjust his tie. Hold on. I'll knot this into a shape of a flower. I frequently tie cravats for my family. It's finished. I tied it using a model that is similar to mine. Lechapi points out. Your dress resembles Miss Saldo's dress somewhat. Don't tell me, you two purposefully made twin dresses, right? Diane's eyes sparkle. Yes. How did you know? Lechapi explains. Few moments ago. Saw Miss Saldo wearing a similar dress. Diane pouts, saying, really? I'm overjoyed. In fact, I've never seen her wearing this dress. She imagines her in the dress and said, she certainly resembles an angel. Lechapi said, come to my house tomorrow if you're curious. Miss Saldo spends her entire day at home. Diane clasps her hands together. I want that. But I have to interview someone. Lechapi sighs. You mean someone who will work as your assistant? You're going to interview them yourself? Diane winks. Of course, that person is someone who will work together with me. Lechapi is surprised. She said, I firmly declined Mother and Sister Starrett's request to attend the interview. Diane pulls Lechapi along. It's my business, and they are my staff candidate. Lechapi is flustered. Diane says, it's my first time seeing a mermaid, so I'm a little anxious. Lechapi smiles reassuringly. Don't be anxious. It's my first time too. Diane narrows her eyes. You are also nervous, right? Lechapi stutters. No. I'm fine. Diane says. Whatever suits your mood. She then adds playfully. I can hear your heartbeats, fool. He opened the door creaked open, and they enter a room where several people are gathered. Diane, still holding his hand, leans, saying, Lechapi, Sister Starrett said their outer appearance resembles us human beings. Is that true? She quickly adds. Don't answer. I will see it with my own eyes. Diane asks. Who is the mermaid? Lechapi responds. I don't know. A man greets them. Oh, welcome, young Count, and Diane introduces herself. Nice to meet you, I'm Diane Harp. The man bows slightly. Miss Harp. He takes her hand and kisses it. We appreciate the esteemed Harp family's willingness to come to our location. I am Rigori, the representative from the Paleo group. Lechapi is shocked. Lechapi whispers. Diane, she asked, what's the matter? Lechapi stammers. That's, Diane asks. What? Her eyes widen in surprise as she looks towards the person near the window.